Praise the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, this year it is my very earnest prayer. The prayer is that you may come to a full realization of who you are, And who you are is that you are the Son of the living God. You are the Son of the living God. Now, according to the book of John, 1 John chapter 3, verse 2, it says that now are we the sons of God, and it does not yet appear what we shall be. But one thing that we know is that when he shall appear, that is Jesus Christ, we shall be like him. Now, that is very, very important. There is a very big difference between knowing that you are the Son of God or being informed. It is a piece of information that you had someone make or say about your statehood or your nature, about your origins, where you hail from, and that is that you are the Son of God. But it is also a completely different thing to come to terms, to comprehend, to understand, or to grasp the implications of what it means to be a son of God. Now, every child of the living God, every believer who has had the gospel for quite some time, they have been told that they are the child of the living God. And more so, they have been told that they are the sons of the living God. But do they understand the implications? Because when you go into the realm of implications of what it means, what it implies, as in the full acknowledgement of who you are, what it means is that you begin to ask yourself certain pertinent questions, important questions, such as that if I am the Son of the living God, it follows therefore that just as a pig gives birth to a pig and a goat to a goat, a donkey to a donkey, it should be that since these animals have the nature of their parents, of their fathers and of their mothers, it should also follow that if I am born of God, I do have the nature of God and the very, very statehood of God. So if God is made of sand, it should follow that I am also made of sand. And it should also follow that if certain things can happen to God, then those things too can happen to you. But if they can't happen to God, then they can't happen to you. Do you understand? Those are the implications. That's what it is meant by understanding the sonship or who you are as touching being a son of the living God. The implications. Praise the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. So there are very many Christians who now suffer and they struggle with life, with a disease. They have chronic diseases, 7 of them or even 10 of them. They have pains everywhere in their bodies, but they are born again. They are children of the living God, and they are sons. Now, they have not yet grasped that their bodies, they have not yet come to terms with the implications or with the implication of their bodies being the temple of the Spirit of the living God. The implication of their bodies being the dwelling place of the Spirit of the living God. They have not yet come to terms with the implications of such a thing. Because can you imagine that God dwells in a place and then it is sickly, it has disease, it has chronic pains, devils are dwelling in that same body? Is it possible? Is it possible? For if God were to dwell in a temple, only he can dwell there. We should not expect an unclean spirit that is bringing diabetes, an unclean spirit that is bringing a foul smell, an unclean spirit that is bringing bad character, suicidal thoughts, oppression and terror and anxiety. We should not expect an unclean spirit to take up residence in the same place as the Spirit of the living God. But alas, for so very many people, it does so happen. You find a believer who believes in Jesus Christ, someone for whom Jesus died and paid a dear price, the price of his very life. You know, that someone still thinks that they are unworthy. My brother and my sister, you are as much of worth as the life, the very life of Jesus Christ, his Father. The very life, not just of a man called Jesus, but the very life of God. That's what it means. That is the implication. So you cannot sit down and begin talking to yourself as someone who is useless, someone who is hopeless. Do you understand the implications of being a son of God? It means it is impossible for you. It is not in your nature for you to fail. But it is in your nature to be able to choose either to fail or to succeed. To be able to die or not to die. It is in your nature to say no to death and live forever. You see, when Jesus was talking to the disciples at chapter 14, it tells them that in my Father's house there are very many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. Behold, I go to prepare a place for you. Then I will come back and take you with me. Take you with me. Listen, in that statement, there is no room for death. He says, I'm going to prepare it. And if it is going to take me 2,000 years to prepare the place, all right, if the time is going to be 4,000 years to prepare a place, he says, I will come back. It does not say that those of you who will still be alive and still living. No, he says, and I'll come back and take you. He was talking to the apostles. But the apostles didn't get it. And the subsequent generations of Christians have not yet got it. But I pray and I know that in this generation that we are headed to, this is the age where the knowledge of the word of the living God, the knowledge of the Lord, is so much going to increase throughout the whole world. It's going to fill the earth as the waters cover the sea. And it's going to be wonderful. People are going to know. All right. So I was talking about the right of choice. Because Jesus could choose to die and then pick his life up. He says that of my own accord, I lay down my life. And of my own accord, I pick it up. So he chose to die. In the same place, that if you are the son of the living God, if the devil is oppressing you today and even right now, it's because you allowed him to. And you allowed him by not doing anything, much as you don't want him to oppress you, but you allowed him to. You didn't tell him to back off. You didn't cast him out. Praise the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. So there is the place of choice when it comes to sonship. When it comes to being sons of the living God, we choose. What are you going to choose this year? Are you going to choose to wallow in misery, in defeat, in pain, in anxiety, in depression, in being tormented by devils, spirits speaking in your mind, spirits tormenting you, in pain? Are you going to choose to continue in that way of life? Or you are going to live up to your reputation, which is that you are the Son of God. You are the Son of God, and therefore have you the nature of God, and therefore the things that cannot happen to God, if you so choose, they cannot happen to you. Praise the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. The real liberty and freedom that Jesus purchased for us was the freedom and choice, the freedom to choose what we want and what we desire to happen to our lives, and what we do not want, we reject. Praise the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Because a man having grown in the counsel of the Most High, having walked in the counsel of the Most High, after his desert experience, because there is a way God covers our understanding that we will not grasp certain truths until a certain work is done in us, especially the desert experience. But once the desert experience is done, in the days of your suffering, in the days when you are being broken, in the days when you are being taught to lean and to rely upon God, when those days are over, then you begin to know what it really means to have freedom and liberty, to be free. Praise the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. So, know who you are. This is the year that you need to know who you are, a son of the living God. Act it, think it, believe it, walk it, talk it, do it. Everything that you do, have the consciousness that you are the son of the living God. Now, there is something that we are going to launch on the Christian Nation. There will be publications, I think 3 of them every week. It's going to be wonderful. So visit the christiannation.online and find out about priesthood. It is the school of priesthood.